joining us, this is Journalist Hangout, reaching you live from TVC News from our headquarters here in Lagos, Nigeria. I have Olayinka Oyegwele and Dotun Oladipo in the studio, and we're talking about the politics of rotation. Turn by
the Senate Presidency.
Yes.
Well, like it's been said, it's just if we have to go by the politics of it, one thing is almost certain. Same part of the country will be winning because of the power. When you look at even the number, the share, I mean, the number of people from each of these zones. In terms of representation in the Senate, if you put it to vote,
it becomes difficult when somebody from the northeast would not be on the same page with somebody from the northwest or the north central, just because of this political
politics has always been like that, and you recollect that.
When it comes to some other responsibility, you hear that not is one.
Yes, it's a block.
One block.
The South.
But when it comes to this, they will tell you that no. We've not had the Senate President from the north central part of the country before.
I agree with you. Ordinarily, like the argument has been, the north central should have it. Ordinarily, but we must balance things the way we are in this country. Don't let's go into all that is going on in the country now.
But North Central has had it before.
Beyond even having it before. We are saying the peculiar situation in which we have found ourselves now needs for some parts of the country to also be taken into consideration so that it doesn't become like what we had when the government, this present government began. And we had this issue of the dot, the 97%, the 5%, and then it became like, okay, so you are not a president for all.
All.
Yes, it should be a country for all. Especially when, before now, the APC was non-existent in the Southeast and South-South.
Yeah.
But in the last election, we had a major shift. Even before it, we had a major shift. Imo was one shift. Cross River moved into APC. Ebonyi moved into APC. And those guys gave some votes, no matter how you look at it. So if they are not going to get the president, they are not going to get the vice president, they are not going to get possibly the chief of staff, they are not. You must ensure that these things go around, no matter how you look at it. If you ask me, for instance, I will argue that if Gbajabiamila performed well as speaker, let him continue, because they said he performed well. So that is based on performance. But the politics of it must also be considered. You cannot do everything based on competence when it comes to political issues.
Nigeria is a very complex country to govern. And I don't envy those that are saddled with the responsibility of actually arranging this thing right now.
In actual fact, it may not be a Nigerian thing alone, because in politics, every sector, every segment of the country must have a sense of belonging. We'll all agree with that. Yeah. However, it is going to be something disingenuous, as we have said, when issues become one. They say, no, the North is monolithic. The North is one. But when it comes to sharing offices now, it is when they know there is no central, there is not west, there is not east, and not that. All we know is that the North has had it in the last 8 years. Whether it's not central or not east or not west. Saraki is north. The state is, Kwara is not central. Lawan is not. So
Northeast.
It should ordinarily go to either south-south or southeast, especially since the president and the vice president are from southwest and northeast. So what do? I mean, it cannot...
You're advising the party to microzone it directly to reduce
for the benefit of their party and for the well-being of the nation. Because if they don't, as we have said, and as if it goes to the north, definitely it is going to be a Muslim. And for those who have been saying APC is a Muslim party, and they will say, Shebi, we told you people, you see what you have done? Then they will come back to begin to tell those who have been campaigning and saying APC is this and is not what you think it is, then there will be trouble. And for the country that is looking for peace, I mean, we have had an election that has divided us.
Very acrimonious.
Very acrimonious, down the line. So the best thing to do is, how do we calm fray now? What do we do? How do we go? That is not also to say that it won't be competent, because exactly what competence are we even talking about? Who can be the Senate President in the North that the Southeast or the South-South will not produce? All these things, they learn on the job.
At the end of the day, if the party decide to, okay, let them throw it open. That if you're a ranking senator, you can garner majority vote.
If you ask me, for instance, that who will I prefer? I would have said that based on the number of years somebody like Ahmad Lawan has spent in the Senate, it's good for us to just return him. And you know why I'm going to say so. When you look at the era of David Mark, the moment he was no longer Senate President, his contribution in that Senate, you
couldn't even remember that he was in the Senate.
A lot of times when you are counting senators, you won't even remember.
Yeah.
Because that's what happens. He feels the power is gone, so what else is he doing there? So we are going to lose a strong senator. If the party decides to leave it open, it's fine. But don't forget, like we have said, the issue of trying to give the Southeast and the South-South a sense of belonging in the country will suffer. Even if they win at the end of the day, it will suffer. Number two is the fact that when you go back and you read media reports, including the statement issued by Saliu Lukman, a lot of these guys who are contesting to go into the Senate to become the Senate President, they are already sharing things to members of the NWC, to members of the NEC. Lukman described it as having turned the headquarters into like a supermarket. Rice, oil, everything is just flowing in different directions. So the party must step in at this point to ensure that we don't have a Bonvita and the milk Senate President. The party should step in.
If we have to narrow it down, we have some individuals like Ojuzo Kalu now that has significant
shown interest. Osita Uzinaso is there.
Okay.
From the north, you have Jibrin. Ordinarily, I'm sure
we're talking about those guys from the southeast or the south-south.
Yes, I think those are the two major guys we have now.
Yeah.
How about
those are the ones who are talking now.
How about Akpabio?
No, Akpabio is, at some point, they said he has decided to...
He has not
step
openly
declared. You know, he has not declared, so he's just taking it easy. Okay. So really people see it as between those two. Especially because even the Southeast, in a way, perform better than the South-South in terms of contribution to the electoral victory.
Yeah.
No?
That is what...
Bola Tinubu did not have 25% in most states of the South.
That's what we're saying in terms of the number, share number. And you, like I said, you have Ebonyi.
Oh,
belonging to you.
Well in Ebonyi.
You have
Ebonyi.
Crossover,
you have Imo.
belonging to you. You have Imo.
Okay, that's South.
So
yes.
You understand what it is now, that the Southeast is laying claim to having done more. Even Umahi, who is the first timer, has declared, saying that running a state is harder than running the Senate. He has declared that you don't need any more experience than the
understand the House rule and everything.
He believes those things are things they can learn on the job. But let's even say we now give it to ranking senators. people who are returning. So you now have Ojikalu and you have Osita. We are not talking strictly about the politics of it, sir. We are talking now about how will the people who are going into that Senate, who are going to run Nigeria, impact on each zone. If a Southeasterner can get it, he's going to go and tell his people, we don't need all of this that we are getting now, all these vibes. It gives them a sense of belonging. Make sure in that same government, a South-South person has a prominent role to play. But like we said, when people are counting, what they are going to be doing is the first five, sir.
Yeah.
President, Vice President, Senate President, House of Representatives, CJN. Already a Yoruba man is CJN. A Yoruba man is the president-elect. So we've got to be careful how we run those other two.
All right. Let's quickly take this breather. We'll be right back after this time out.